back. Welcome back to the Top of Miss Londa. I have a very special guest on me this evening. I have Hurricane Lexi. Now, Hurricane Lexi is an upcoming artist. She is a model and ambassador, and she's a writer. Now, she has also Radiance. Would you like to tell the name? I'm sorry.
That's okay. The book is called Random Radiance, a Never Too Radiant Anthology, and it is available on Amazon.
All right. And so I would like to thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to interview you. So let's start with, you wrote your book. You've even been featured in National Geographic, correct?
Yes, correct. I was in National Geographic with the Psychedelic Academy of Detroit. It was for an ayahuasca ceremony. So I was filmed doing that. Part of my healing process, I am familiar with plant medicines, teachers, animal teachers, fungi teachers, etc. It's been a really big help and a really big guide as I've been on my journey of spirit and self and my healing. I've been doing it since 2020. So I'm about almost 3 years in, and years of progress and growth and healing within.
And you're also an advocate for self loving in sorts, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so, okay. And what made you, get into that field?
Well, I've had several different types of trauma from the time that I was younger. I've even had a trigger alert, an SA a few years ago. And so I've spent time in a psychiatric hospital for a week following that incident, and um, it really was the beginning. It was the start I didn't know that I needed. Well, in the way that I wasn't expecting to get it. So from that point on, I really was investing into myself, into my healing, into not repeating a lot of the bad habits and patterns that I've allowed myself to experience throughout my life. So I got into therapy, found a therapist. I was working more myself. I was doing more writing, which is, 2019, that around the end of 2019 is when I started writing different writing pieces. And that's really the beginning of the book. In the book, all the writing pieces are in chronological order. So as I'm going through my journey, these are different writing pieces that I've done throughout, as I'm going through it, as I'm expressing myself, as I'm expressing my pain, expressing my confusion, expressing my self-love, finding different ways to talk to myself, to listen to myself. I went to a place called the Refuge in 2020, and that's where I did what I call soul surgery. So I really went there with the intention on addressing my depression, anxiety, complex PTSD, all my traumas, everything that was holding me back, that I was allowing to hold myself back. All of those things, I really just was like, I'm not dealing with it anymore. I just decided that enough was enough. And I spent every moment, every conversation, every interaction, every class, every piece of that experience. I was there for 30 days. I used every single moment of it to teach me, to pour into my healing, to aid me in some sort of way, provide me with the tools that I needed. And then shortly after coming back is when I ended up coming in contact with the Psychedelic Academy of Detroit, and Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, and started my psychedelic and entheogen journey, which really just compounded because I found out that some of the natural, fungi, plant, all of those things, different modalities such as ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is something in the medicinal world, the spiritual world, that I did in the Western world at the Refuge. I did something called ART, which is something that was very similar. Once I, described it, it was very similar to the spiritual thing of ayahuasca. And, as far as diving deep within yourself, getting healings, being able to transform and transmute different experiences that you've had, those bad memories, those bad feelings, being able to see it, accept it, be able to give it its space and time and opportunity to be heard, to be understood, being able to dive into that inner child, be able to listen to them, allow them to tell you what they need, what they're lacking, what they need more of, which is essentially you as an adult. So what you need, it really allows you to just dive in and connect and be able to heal and see yourself as the light and as the dark, as the good and as the seemingly bad, the good decisions, the bad decisions, the highs and the lows, being able to take that as one. That's all a part of you, being able to walk with it. Be okay with being angry. Be okay with not being right. Be okay with not being liked by people. Be okay with being with yourself. All of these things and so much more are things that I have learned, incorporated, and practiced through my mental health journey, my spiritual journey, physical, all types of my health and well being. So it's all been a continual process that just kind of all intertwines, spirals, overlaps, all of the above.
Okay. And so, your music, um, what inspired you to do your music? And tell us a little about what does your music represent?
I'm not a musical artist. I am an abstract canvas artist with acrylic paints.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry. I
okay.
thought you were a music
That's okay.
artist. I'm sorry.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I'm a canvas, abstract canvas artist with, like I said, acrylic paints. And that's actually, like I said, everything kind of combines because it started off with I, like to paint a little bit, just kind of as a hobby, just kind of, whenever. And I remember it was one particular day I was going through an emotionally turbulent time as I'm doing my shadow work, as I'm diving within myself, as I'm opening up, peeling layers. It was a rough time and a rough moment. And I didn't feel like I was in the position to be able to express it vocally, or verbally. I just couldn't get it out within myself, but I was so overwhelmed and I needed to release this energy, transmute it in some sort of way. So I just decided to, get a canvas, get some of the little paint bottles, and I went outside to the backyard, put up the canvas, and I just started throwing the paint. Like I just took the bottle and I'm just squeezing it, throwing, splashing, like I'm just letting it all out, just releasing. And I did a couple of them, and then my mom saw them and she was like, "Oh my goodness!" She was like, "This is great." She was like, "You should continue. Like you should maybe sell them." And I was like, "Not really." Like it was really a form of release for me. It was a form of meditation, of a form of healing, a form of expressing myself in my in my rawness. I didn't have to conform to societal norms. I didn't have to conform to saying it in the way that somebody was comfortable with or that they understood or that made sense. In that moment, I was in IDGAF mode. I just needed to release. I needed to get this out. I didn't care about anybody else and what they wanted. I needed it for me. So that's what I did. And then I just continued on. So all of my paintings are also, it's an artistic book and, in a sense, and an artistic accompaniment of, my physical book because this part of my journey as well. Each piece is from some point, whether I was expressing my anger, my sadness, my joy, my confusion, my blindness, just something just fun. I enjoyed it. And when I, reached a point where I was like, okay, I've reached the level that I'm comfortable with it. I'm gonna set this down for a little bit. So I did sit, painting down a little bit last year as I focused more on writing my book and everything like that. But I definitely do still have some paintings available as small as, like 6x6, 4x4, as big as 28x32, etc. Some available for sale as well. But it's just all a part of my story, my expression, my way to show others that they are not alone. Somebody understands them. The parts that you feel like, I'm not sure how to say it, I'm not sure if this is going to come out right, it doesn't seem like it make any sense, but I need to get this out. That's what I'm here for. I'm the one. I don't have a problem being the weird one. I don't have a problem being the one who, just says the random questions, who says the random things, who just says the out of the box type of thing, because somehow it always makes sense. You don't know how, but it does. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you express yourself as I learn and practice expressing myself and my throat chakra in a healthy and balanced way. being able to teach people in the most normal yet weird and enigmatic of ways, the contradictions that make sense, the ways that you can embrace the parts of you that make you a little shudder a little bit. Sometimes you get a little scared. The parts of you that scare you, those are the parts that we want to dive into real deep, because who are we to be afraid of? We're ourselves. Like, we don't need to be afraid of ourselves. We can overcome anything. So just really just learning, practicing that, and finding all different types of ways to express myself, because there's so many different modes and modalities to express yourself. And at the same time, my inner child is having fun. My inner child is being able to express themselves. My inner child is being able to be free. I'm being able to be creative. So I'm releasing so many of the things in my head that are maybe bogging me down, or that are, taking up unnecessary space. We're evicting those out in a creative way, and we're making room for so much more to come in, so much greater, so much more, just beauty, manifestations, prosperity, abundance, self-love, and peace. It's such a peaceful thing just to be able to be yourself. As much as you love and accept yourself, that's how much peace you'll be able to have.
All right. And so I want to ask you about the inner child thing. So are you saying like the young side to yourself, just feel free to let it out?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? It kind of broke up a little bit.
So basically what I was asking like about the inner child,
Hmm.
are you saying that like you have like a young side to yourself to just feel free to let it out?
Absolutely. And I mean, and even more literal than that, a literal, spiritual inner child, because at one point we were children. So that same child that we were back then is still with us as we grow older. So the things that we felt like we may have needed, the things we may have wanted to experience, the ways we wanted to be heard, the ways we wanted to be held, the ways we wanted to be listened to and understood. All of those things that we wanted as children, if we didn't receive them, we still carry them as adults, whether consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously. So when we allow ourselves to be free, and we allow ourselves to, you know, explore the fun, explore the random, explore the childlike things, whether it be, I just want to take a walk. And while I'm taking this walk, I'm gonna just take a different path that I never took, because why not? Let's have an adventure. I did that. I went and did a little walking path, all the time. And one day I just was like, let me just do something different. Let me just do something. And I went and I found a completely new path. And I did that each time I went out after that. And I found several different new paths within the same place that I was going to on a consistent basis. And it was so exciting just to be able to be free, just explore, not have to worry about, oh, what is somebody going to think, or what do I have to do? I don't care. The more I allow myself that freedom to be that childlike freedom, because as children, we're until we're taught to be afraid, or taught to, shut this down, or whatever, we're free, we're open, we're curious. We want to explore, we want to expand, we want to learn in our own ways, hands-on, touching, experiencing, learning new things. That doesn't go away just because we get older. We may try to push it down as much as possible, but it's still there. And we have the opportunity to be able to let that inner child free in the ways that we feel comfortable. And if we don't know, to allow ourselves to learn, to be able to learn what things we like, what things we can do as adults that we liked as children. So that's like a double win, because not only are you doing things that your inner child likes, you're also finding a way to fit it into adulting. So, you can be creative, you can do different types of expansive things, all types of wonderful things. You may have wanted to stay up and eat ice cream or something like that. Eat ice cream whenever you wanted, and you can do that now, but now you're learning about herbs, and you're learning about different, vegan or different vegetarian or different sorts of healthy living. So now you're creating your own ice cream. You're learning different things, and you're creating your own ice cream. So boom, now on top of that, you're creating, you're alchemizing, you're enhancing your skills, abilities, and knowledge as an adult, as well as feeding your inner child, which means you're able to feed your children, your community, society, any and everybody with the things that you're learning. You're learning by doing, and when you teach one, two people learn. So you're able to do all of these things, have all of these impacts on all of these different things by doing something as simple as making yourself some ice cream. And then on top of that, you get to eat the ice cream and you don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to have a bedtime if you don't have to, you can do what you want, and you can you truly construct your life in the way that you want and being able to enjoy it. And if I have anything to say about it, oh, we're going to have some fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves. I do call out inner childs. Like I've looked people in their eyes and I'm like, okay, let's do this fun, or let's have a race, or let's do this. And they be like, oh, no, I don't want this. And I look them in their eyes and I'm like, I'm calling out your inner child. I'm calling you out. Come on, what you gonna do? You gonna deny yourself? You gonna deny yourself having some fun? You gonna deny yourself allowing yourself to be free, have that inner child out? Because why not? Come on, let your inner child out. Let's have some fun.
Okay. All right. So, what would you say some of the most impactful experience of your journey is thus far?
Whew, there's been several. I would definitely have to say experiencing the refuge for one. That was a truly big one. I would say my first ayahuasca trip, my first ayahuasca ceremony, as well as when my book came out, because that was a big step. Now, those are just like the three that I can kind of break down, because like I said, there's so many, even within like each sector, each moment. Oh, also, no, I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I think that's it for now.
So let's go back to the refuge. Can I ask, where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
Oh, I'm born in Inkster, Michigan. So I'm a Michigan native, and I lived in Florida for a few years, back in around 2013 to the beginning of 2016, and then I've been back here ever since. But yeah, I'm a Michigan native.
Okay, so the refuge. Can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. Okay, so the refuge, it's called the Refuge, a Healing Place. It's in a place called Ocklawaha, Florida. And it is an in-treatment residential program for people with traumas, depression, addictions, things of that nature. It's huge. It's on acres and acres of land. It's like campgrounds. There's horses, there's a stream, there's a marsh, there's tons and tons of things. There's a lot of experiential therapy. There's a plethora of things. I actually found out about it through my therapist. And this is one of the ways that I know that everything happens for a reason. Because like I said, end of 2019, I decided to go back to therapy again. So I found a therapist who I really enjoyed. I was going to her. I was really, expressing myself. And come around February, March, I really was making progress, but I still felt like I needed something more. I promised myself after, my essay, that I would never allow myself to get that low to that point again where I would attempt something like that. Before then I would ask for help, no matter what my ego looked like, what how it sounded, how it came out. If I needed help, if I was feel like I was, getting down into that dark place, like really getting down to that dark place, I don't care what I look like. I don't care how I have to do it. I'm gonna reach out for help. So I was kind of, getting to that point a little bit, but I wasn't sure how to say it. I was like, I need something more. Like, I'm making progress, I'm doing it, but I need something more. I went to my therapist one day for a session, and she was like, I want to tell you about this place. She was like, I was out of town, and she checks out different facilities that might be beneficial for her clients while she's out of town. So he was like, I came across this one called the Refuge, and I feel like it's perfect for it. I feel like it's perfect for you. And she was telling me about it. She was telling me about the experiential therapy. So there's art, there's drumming, there's tons of different things. There's group therapies, there's individual therapies. John Travolta's ex personal chef was the chef of the, of the place. there's campgrounds, there's a labyrinth walk, 11 gate, 11 round labyrinth walk. There's also a magnolia tree. There was a spiritual facilitator there named Don. I love Don. He's amazing. He was a spiritual facilitator. So he led ceremony at the Magnolia Tree as well as ceremony at the Labyrinth Walk. That's the first time I've ever experienced ceremony, smudging, sage, all of these things, which is, as time goes on, was really my introduction into what I was getting into once I left from there. So I had profound experiences, spiritual experiences within myself. At the Magnolia Tree as well as at the Labyrinth. So it was very, very beautiful. It was amazing. It was tough. I'm there to do soul surgery. So, we had trauma groups, every day. So we had assignments we had to do. We had activities we had to do. Now, granted, they're not forcing anybody to do anything, but if you're paying that amount of money or you're having insurance payment or you're there, for a reason, I wanted to make sure I got everything I needed from it because I knew I have this amount of time. I have 30 days. I know what I'm here for. I'm doing everything I can, take advantage of everything that I can. I experienced different sorts of real world type experiences while I was in there as well as I'm healing. So it was like dual healing. I'm healing from my past and I'm also, healing things in the present, all types of things. And it was great. It was great. I'm really, really grateful for that. The nurses there, the doctors, all the staff, like everything, like, if you're in the book, there's a writing piece called Sheldonisms. And it's in reference to a nurse named Sheldon who was there at the refuge. And every time I talked to him, he was a fellow Black man or whatever. And, he was like the father that I needed in that situation. Like while I was there, like he was like a fatherly figure, just in the simplest of ways, because I would, talk to him and he would give me real life, as I call them, Sheldonism pieces, little jewels. My favorite one is love yourself as if your life depends on it, because it does. And that really sat, and it was so many different things. And I would write them down on the little prescription papers that was on the counter. I would take it, flip it over and write down whatever he said. And I still have them because these are little jewels. These are little seeds that are aiding, that are nourishing, fertilizing my soul's soil. So they're blooming, they're blossoming, they're replenishing. They're continuing to grow and expand and multiply. And I knew it a little bit then, but not to the extent that it has been and that it will continue to be. Just the profoundness of words and of intentions and of what you believe and what you tell yourself. Because he said those things to me and I could have just very easily just been like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, or whatever, and just let it go. But something in it was like, let me keep this, let me take this. And so that's what I did, and just continued to let it grow and remind myself of it. And the more I speak on it of myself, the more it starts to be conditioned and I start to believe it. So now I'm acting in these ways that are in conjunction and alignment with it. And now that that's happening, boom, now my life is elevating, and now I'm influencing and I'm affecting those around me. So now the vibrations of everybody is coming up and, oh my goodness, there's radiance everywhere. What do we do? Enjoy it. Those are things that some of the things that I've learned, and I just continue to just, like I said, fertilize it, nourish it, bloom it, multiply it, get it out there to really, and put my own spin on it so that people understand and that people feel it. I'm an emotional person. I'm, by nature, by nurture, and by design. So I'm a feeler. I feel energy. I'm expressing energy. I'm alive. And everything that I give to others is my overflow. I'm not overwhelmed because it's not too much. It's not too much for me to handle. And it's way more than a little bit, so it's not underwhelming. So I'm so whelmed. I want people to be more whelmed. Don't be overwhelmed with the blessings and the abundance and everything that's coming towards you. No, you are worthy and deserving of every last bit of it and then some. Everything that's coming your way, you're worthy and deserving of it. So you're whelmed. You're accepting it all. You're handling it all. You're multiplying. You're integrating. You're transmuting. You're alchemizing. You're manifesting it all. And then you give out. And then that makes room for more to come in. and the cycle continues. And it's all up to you.
All right. I have a lot of comments from the viewers, but before I ask, by you, do you take some of the things that you learned at the refuge and teach the people who you advocate for? Like, do you use some of those same tactics?
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. Now, I still have pretty much, my packet from while I was there. So I have some of my assignments that I've done. I have assignments that, the list of assignments. At this point, I stay kind of away from, and those, and I can't think of the right word right now, but using those, assignments or examples. I'm really using showing people through my experience. So what I learned through my experience as I was doing these things, as I was, experiencing these things, the way that I learned it, the way that, it manifested within me, I'm able to show others in that way. Now I make sure I let them know this is me only speaking from my experience. This is just how it happened for me. If it helps you, if there's anything in it that you can relate to, that you want to retain, that you want to utilize, that you feel is a seed for your soul, absolutely use it. That's what it's here for. I don't mind talking. I don't mind sharing, my story with people. I don't mind sharing, ways that I've learned, ways that I've grown, with people. It might come out different every time I say it to somebody, but it's all, it might, I might word it differently, but it's all the same thing, different creative ways of being able to express it in ways that people understand it. So I would say in a way, yes, not with the strict, assignments, but really from my real world experience, from my healing, my growth, my development, and my ways of being able to express that to others. And it just happens, however it helps them or aids them or guides them. So shall it be.
All right. So first is from he says she definitely sounds like she definitely free. I can hear it in her voice.
Gratitude, gratitude.
I wish I was until you said vegan. I can't give a fun chicken. You fired up.
No, let me be clear. I am not vegan. I just had some steak today and yesterday. Yeah, I'm not vegan. I've done, I've done like a vegan diet kind of for briefly, like have vegan foods and stuff like that. I love to eat. I'm an advocate for food. Don't ask me if you are on a diet or you need to be like, oh, do I get this one or do I get this one? And I'm like, do you want them both? And you'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, well, have them both then. So if you're trying to be like on the, oh, I just want one or the other, don't ask me. Because I want people to enjoy themselves. I would, invest in health. Health is wealth. And however you define that is how you define it. So whatever you feel is healthy and nourishing for your body and what you're feeding yourself, by all means, go for it. But yes, I definitely enjoy some chicken. I enjoy some salmon and some lamb and all of the good stuff as well. No pork though. No pork.
All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
She
also
never
says
Radiance.
she the type of therapist I need to talk to somebody who's just as depressed as me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I don't look like a lot of the experiences that I've been through, a lot of the things that I've overcome. And for that, I am grateful. And for that, it's also a superpower because I can relate to a lot more people than they realize. Like I can relate to people on a lot of different levels than they realize. And I done been there, I done done it. I'll be honest, if I'm having a good day, cool. If I'm feeling my feelings, I'm feeling my feelings. And I'm gonna need you to feel your feelings too, because that's a good way to get through it. That's one thing that I learned at the refuge is to feel your feelings. And the more you feel your feelings in the moment, the easier it is for you to feel, heal, and release them. Be able to give them their time, their space, their opportunity to be heard, understood. If there's something that you need, there's something that you're missing, go ahead and be able to provide that to yourself if you're able to, but at least hear yourself out to know what you need. because it could be very simple as, I just want to take a nap, bro. Like, why are you still on it? Like, why are you still doing this? Like, let's take a nap. I need some rest, or I need to eat, or I just need this. I need a hug. I need something. Like, take the time to feel your feelings, and then you can feel through them, and then be on it, and boom, you back at it. So, infinite gratitude.
So he also says he wants to know about your necklace that you wear. He feels like it has a story to it.
Because you just know. It actually does have a story to it. This is a golden or a kyanite necklace wrapped in copper and gold. And I actually got it last year when I was in Atlanta. I went to the PSYCHEDLIC conference in August of last year. And then shortly after that, I traveled to Washington, D.C. for about 10 days to commune with some people from the Temple of Mother Earth. And then a few weeks after that, I was like, let me go down to Atlanta because I was going to participate in the Sweat Lodge conducted by Chief Nighthawk, but it was raining, so I ended up staying with one of my spiritual brothers and his queen and family, and they were like, "Hey, there's a mystic fair that's happening tonight. We were gonna take you, check it out. We'll take you to check it out." It's like, okay, cool. First I hear, I just pulled in like 4 something in the afternoon, and now we're on our way down there. That was incredible. I met so many amazing people, including a gentleman called Benjamin Devine from Gemstone Dripping. So he is the designer and creator of this piece. So, I got to talk to him, and, we connected, and I ended up helping him the next, I think it was like sometime later that week with an event, a fashion show event. I helped him at the table. I was a model for his piece as well, and for another lady designer, because I'm like, whenever I'm somewhere that has a fashion show as a freelance model, I'm pretty much like, hey, if you need an extra model, I'm available. So that's what happened. So, I, had the piece. I was showing off the jewelry. I was helping make sales of people, just really just interacting with the crowd, interacting with all the people there, with the jewels and all of that. And he ended up bringing some jewelry back to the table from the models, from a previous walk, and this was there. I hadn't seen it the whole night, but this just happened to be there all of a sudden. I was like, I saw it, and I immediately was like, oh, I'm gonna put this one on. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on. I'm gonna rock this one, while we out there. And so it just spoke to me. It just felt right. So I'm wearing it throughout the night, and it's going. I'm getting a ton of compliments on it, this and the third. So at the end of the night, I'm helping him pack everything up before I'm leaving, and I'm getting ready to take it off and give it back to him. And he was like, no. He was like, you keep it. He was like, it seems like it feels like it's for you. It seems like it's, your, he was like, so you keep it. So I was like, infinite gratitude. And that's how it happened. And my first night there at the Mystic Fair, Lizzie Jeff happened to be there. And I was like, oh my goodness, Lizzie Jeff. Ended up being, on stage. She had, towards the end of her segment, she had all the women come up. And so I was on there, and I was like right next to her, and we were just having a great time. She was saying, she was wrapping money bags. It was, the energy and vibrations were just high and excellent. And it was just an amazing time. That whole trip, was absolutely amazing. So I definitely look forward to going back to those places, and also just traveling, traveling different places, interacting with different people, book signings, speaking engagements, being able to just spread the radiance to people. I enjoy it, so that's the story of the necklace.
All right. We also this would be the time to discuss your book, because he says if you have a book he would like to get it. So if you want to go a little bit more depth into your book and what it's about.
Okay, wonderful. Well, infinite gratitude. So, as I said, the book is called Random Radiance, a Never Too Radiant Anthology. Yes, that's me. And it's a bunch of writing pieces from my journey. So there's some sweet, there's some spicy, there's some erotic and sexy, there is some empowering, there's some encouragement, there's some inner child stuff. So it's a little bit of everything. It is available on Amazon if you type in Random Radiance, or the full title Random Radiance and Never Too Radiant Anthology. It should be one of the pretty much the first one that does pop up. Or if you are local to the Metro Detroit area, I do have some copies on hand, as well as some affirmation goodies as well, that are available. So you can definitely get in contact with me if you are local and want to pick it up, or if you're out of state and you want me to travel to you, you want me to sign the book, we can make that happen too. But so definitely there's some pieces in here. So there's pieces such as Sunflower, Reflections, Savagely Salivating. There's Vicious Spring, a shroom short. And for some of the erotic nature, there's Albino Penis Envy Part 1, Part 2. There's something called Golden Gulp. There is Rain on Me. Of course, on the motivational and stuff as well, there's Sheldonisms as well as Reflections. There's little pieces such as Blow, Dro, Snow, and Go. We've got a ton of different things in here, and it's an anthology, so every piece is different. Every piece is its own story. Every piece is its own energy, its own experience. This isn't just a book of words. This isn't just a book of stories. This is a book of experience. There thought-provoking stories. There's, conversation pieces, enigmatic emotions that are expressed. A lot. It's what your soul wants to say. It's what your soul needs. It's what you want somebody to hear and understand and connect with you on. But you don't know how to go about it. You don't have these people in your circle. You don't have these people here. I'm here. I'm here in spirit to let you know that I understand. To let you know that yes, it's not all rainbows and bunnies and lights and happiness. Yeah, sometimes it gets dark. It gets really, really dark. And as we can tell, I'm a little chocolate lady, so I know something about dark. So I know how to get dark physically, literally, and spiritually. So I dive deep. I've dived real deep, and I have no problem diving deep and getting, and getting in there and helping others as they go through the darkness. I'm a Scorpio as well, so transformation, darkness, all that good stuff. It's kind of how we rock. So this is my territory. Like, I'm a person of balance as well as extreme. So as much as I am light, I am also dark. And I've learned to be in balance and be safe within both of them. And if I'm safe, I can do anything. So this is me being safe and sharing my safety with you guys. Because these are my words. These are my feelings. These are me going through my depression. These are me going through my sadness. These are me going through my heartbreaks. These are me going through my triumphs. These are me going through some of my, microdoses. This is me going through, this is me going through my life. And I've written all these things, not with the intention of on making a book. It just happened to be, I was going through cleaning up one day and I found a bunch of my writings, because 99% of these started pen and paper. Found a bunch of them. It's like, oh my goodness, there's so many. Maybe I should put a book together. I've always wanted to be like an author. Technically, I am an author because when I was in a charter school from 3rd to 8th grade, we had fine arts night every month. So we had created a book from scratch, designed. We had a theme, whatever. So we wrote the story, we edited the story, formatted the book, created the book cover, design. We did everything. We created the entire book process from start to finish, and then we read a portion of our book on Fine Arts Night. So technically, I'm already an author, but outside of the school segment, I wanted to be an author. My late grandfather always wanted me to be an author. My mother always wanted me to be an author. So being able to do this not only for myself, but for my family, for my community, for my children, for my children's children, for all generations above, for above and beyond. So many different things. It's more than just me. It's never been just about me. It's always been bigger than me. And now I can spread myself with others. So even if I'm not physically there, I'm there. I'm here, So that's the book. Feel free to support and purchase the book.
And yes, and her links are in the description of the video as well. He also says her personality is so beautiful, and I can tell she ain't faking at all. She really on this type of peaceful free time.
Ashe, infinite gratitude. And yes, I am, because I don't really like drama. I don't really like chaos. I don't really like tension.
Yeah.
Can we just enjoy ourselves? Can we just be at peace? Can we have fun? I laugh too much. I crack too many jokes. I say too much out of the way type of stuff. Like I can be serious when I need to be serious, but why be serious all the time? Why be involved in drama? Why be in some mess when it's so peaceful? Once I discover peace within myself, oh yeah, if you have to go if you are or if you're interfering with it. If you are threatening it, you're interfering, you're trying to take it away from it, you're trying to add. I don't care if your feelings are hurt. You got to go.
Yes,
Um,
and it is okay to feel that way. If somebody is disturbing your spirit,
yeah,
it is okay to feel that.
absolutely.
Right?
Separation is important. Yeah, because you're responsible, for yourself, for your emotions, for your well-being. And if you have to have those boundaries, yes, have those boundaries. Be solid and stable in those boundaries because they are for you and your protection and your growth. And it's okay. It's okay to say no. Because the more you're comfortable and solid in your saying your and when you say no, the more people trust your yes. The more you say no when you don't feel like, doing instead of just saying yes when you really don't, the more you're honest and you say no, the more they believe your yes. And it's not going to be the end of the world if you say no because other people don't have a problem when they say no to you. So don't
Exactly.
don't
So
feel
I
bad
kind of
about others.
right. I kind of feel like you may have answered this question. But he says, can you ask how does she deal with negative experiences when she has those cousin? I think he's saying cousin personalities. Um, they
Personally,
tend
they
to stew in and ruin his peace. So have you
um
any advice for that?
I would say, in addition to the things that I have mentioned, one thing that I have learned, and I'm not going to lie, I was stubborn, a little hard headed, and with breathing and meditation, because I was like, I don't know how to do it, and I can't sit still. There's too much going on. I got to do this, this, and this. But I realized I found different things that I enjoy. I found that I love, love, love coloring and coloring books. When I'm coloring in a coloring book, that's a form of meditation. I zone out. It allows me to be at, experience some sort of peace in addition to so many other things. Being able to express myself in a way that works for me, and essentially that will work for you. So find something that works for you that you're able to um, just kind of express it, just kind of zone out, if you need to, as far as maybe it's playing basketball, or maybe it's dancing, or maybe it's writing, drawing, coloring, sculpting, anything. Maybe it's just sitting and breathing and listening to music. Find times and moments to intentionally have some silence and to breathe and just breathe. That's the main thing. If nothing else, the thing I've heard the most outside of meditate is to breathe. That has been my most difficult thing that I would have because I would have so much in and the negative emotions would get, bog me down. I would get overwhelmed. I would have emotional outbursts. I would isolate myself. I would get really depressed. I would stop eating. I would lose weight. I would, you know, it was a lot when I let it consume me. You need an outlet. Whatever that outlet is in a safe and healthy way, you need an outlet. IDGAF, if anybody else feels some type of way about whatever it is, what it looks like, I don't care. If it makes you feel better, if it gives you some sort of release, if you're able to focus on just breathing and being in whatever it is that you do that. Do that. If it makes your soul feel calm, even for a moment, because all you need is to start off as little small moments. Those small steps add up to a whole lot of progress. And then I've come to realize that it's a lot easier um, to take those small steps to get to that big thing. Because by the time you get to the big thing, you don't even realize it because, like, oh, I've been doing all of these little things this whole time. And now here we are. I'm where I wanted to be. I'm currently living in what it is that I prayed for. I prayed to be at this point. I prayed to be at this point within myself and on my journey. And it was difficult. There was times when I wanted to give up. There was times when I had to take a break. If you need to take a break, take a break. Flat out. Take a break if you need to. That's okay. It's okay to put yourself in neutral. It's okay to put your foot on the brake a little bit, but don't put yourself in park. It's the only thing you got to make sure you don't do. You can keep going, even if you got to go a little slower, even if you got to take a rest stop or several rest stops, or you got to get a food stop. It's like, hey, do what you got to do. Just keep going. Keep going. You are so worthy and deserving of every beautiful thing that you envision for your life. Every dream that you have, every goal that you have, you are worthy and deserving of it. And you are capable of achieving all of it. Just start by breathing. Just breathe. Just simple. Start there and then keep going. You can stay in contact with me too. I'll be happy to help.
So he also said I was supposed to be getting wasted tonight, but after listening to this, I want to do yoga or something. I don't know. But
Right.
you're a great inspiration to people.
Thank you.
It's
It's
a
an
great.
yes.
Let's talk about your podcast. Like, what are some of the things that you talk about on your podcast? Because I'm sure, like, if they're enjoying you now, they would love to tune into your show.
Man, absolutely. So I'm gonna be honest. I haven't with the upcoming of the book. I haven't done any new podcast episodes recently. So I have several on there. They go from affirmations, me affirming you, me giving you some real talk into a situation that I had, a personal situation that I had, and things that I learned. Holding myself accountable, really giving myself some self accountability and reflection. I've got some what am I? So and the what am I, it's I'm reading something that I wrote that's describing something. And then at the end I ask, what am I? So, you guys are able to answer what you guys think it is. So the podcast is really what my intention and my goal for it is, especially moving forward, is to really um, just be random, be radiant, to provide motivation and inspiration to people, to be real with people, to give them real life, me, to be raw and transparent. This is my safe space to express myself in my own way, on my own terms. I don't have to worry about being on Facebook and be like, oh, if I say this, I'm going to be censored, or I'm going to go to Facebook jail, or I'm going to do this, or if I express this in this way, or I can't say these sort of things, on Facebook because I got so and so on here. No, here on the podcast is freedom, is community, is my way to connect with others and have them connect with me. And what kind of things do you want to learn about? What kind of things do you want to experience? Um, you know, let's talk about it. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to? Oh, sorry, gotta get my charger. What kind of things do you want to experience throughout your life and throughout your journey? And let's have some fun. Let's be our inner child. Let's go ahead and be big ass kids as we are adults. Let's go ahead and get some stuff done. Let's make money. Let's go ahead and enjoy our lives. Let's travel. Like, let's do any and everything we want to do because we can and we want to. So why not? Those kind of things. So that's pretty much the space to be able to do that.
He also says her name is really fitting. Feel like I just got hit by a positive hurricane.
And that's because you did. That is because you did. Um, yeah, absolutely.
And then I have another comment. Also, to be a piece to around you as well. Your environment, otherwise you will never have peace.
That is definitely something that can contribute to that contributes to your piece as well. People tend to say you are the culmination of the five people you surround yourself with, the most. And as you grow, as you shed, as you transform, as you learn more, as you grow and go through your journey, as you live and exist, you're going, if you're doing it right, you're going to change. You're going to change in hopefully, ways for the better. And everybody doesn't like that. Everybody's not okay with that. Everybody can't accept that. Everybody can't handle it. And some people just don't want to. That's okay. Those are people that have their season, they've had their season, now their season is ending. I appreciate you. I thank you for the time, the lessons, the blessings, the experiences that we have. I release you with love. Your season is over. On to the next. You will continue to, just like the trees, just like nature, in the fall, all the dead leaves fall off, all the things that are old, all the things that no longer serve, they're being released. Um, they're being removed so that they can be renewed with what's new and fresh and what's for them. So as you go along your journey, you have the the old friends, the old environments, the old situations that you encounter. However, you have a plethora of new ones that are coming in as well. You have a plethora of people and environments and situations and blessings and experiences that are just waiting to come and serve you and to pour into your life, but it just needs the room, to be made for it. If you have your hands closed, where's it going to go? How is it going to get to you? If you just got it like that, what? You only getting a little bit. Nah, open palm, hold it out, arm stretch. I want you to receive it all because the universe wants you to receive it all. So yeah, peace is definitely part of with
So I
self
have
as well.
one last question.
Okay.
He wants to know, the more peaceful and free I become, the more the world tried to test that and break me
Mhm.
out of that. Does she feel that way sometimes? Do you feel that way sometimes? He wants to know.
No, not sometimes. 99% of the time. Oh yeah, they're gonna try you because you're having peace, you're having joy, you're having satisfaction, you're accomplishing things. The certain entities, certain people, certain things don't want that. That's one of the cases. But another case could be, okay, we know what you're capable of. We know what you want to do. We know what you want to accomplish. We need to make sure you're strong enough for it. We need to make sure you really want it like you say you want it. We need to make sure you 10 toes down in it. So we're going to allow you to be tested. It's up to you to make the decision. It, like I said, I don't look like what I've been through. It gets difficult. I have my moments, I have my days, and I let that out. I express it because the thing is, it's going to do one of two things. It's going to either be expressed and released and felt, and it goes on and transmute and allows me to make room for better and more of that peace. Now that I've tried through the test, I've made it through, I completed the test, or I could hold it inside and I can let it burn me up and I can let it and then I get nothing done, or I go backwards, or I get stagnant. Oh, I've been stagnant several times within, these past few years. And I've had to find ways to work through it, find ways to work it out, etc. So it's definitely a beautiful process, and you are not alone by any means. I am right there with you. And I definitely appreciate all of the comments, the questions, everything. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, I would like to thank you for this great discussion. You are a great inspiration to a lot of us. I really appreciate that. Them find you where they can find your book. Let us know what can we expect in the future.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. You can find me on Facebook at it's Hurricane Lexi Radiance Smith is like my personal page, and then Random Radiance is the business page that I just put up for like the book and discussions and just kind of how other people can stay connected with me as well. And then I'm also Hurricane underscore Lexi on Instagram, as well as Hurricane underscore of underscore Radiance as well on Instagram. And then my website is hurricanelexi.com. And as again, you can find the book Random Radiance, a Never Too Radiant Anthology on Amazon, as well as if you are local or if you want an on-hand copy that's already autograph as well as some affirmation goodies, you can get in contact with me because I have some on hand as well. And upcoming next week, if you are in the metro area, there is a 50 Shades of Pink Women's Conference that is being put on by the Level Up Besties group, and I will be a guest speaker there speaking on the importance of the inner child. So I definitely look forward to that and experiencing all of this stuff with you guys, and I hope to see you.
All right. Thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you guys in the comments. Thank you for all your great questions and everything. Oh my God, we just lost her. But tune in tomorrow. I have a great show for you coming tomorrow. You guys all have a good night. Thank you.